Hey guys, it's Mathor here once again, and basically I have failed you hard in the starter build category. It's just going to be a quick video going over what I'm going to play as a starter, and then just the thing I tested real quick, which was like Spellcaster, Lightning Inquisitor, but I essentially ran out of time as I was making cosplay stuff, and just starter shit didn't happen this time around. All right, there's lots of them out there. Lots of people have established builds you can follow and copy. This is just simply going to be an example of what I think Energy Blade might do with Trickster, because I want to play the new Trickster and I want to mess around with Energy Blade microtransaction. As you can see, it is rather glorious using Spectral Throw, Spectral Helix, and as well as that Rage Vortex, which is a build for the future, not for this time around. But yeah, so I'll real quickly go over what I think is going to happen here, and then just another little small testing leveling setup. So real quick, I'll talk about Trickster. It did get changed quite dramatically to have a rather generic damage ascendancy, which you can get damage for almost any ascendancy for. It's just based off of masteries and different masteries. My proposed plan and build in this case is having 13 different masteries, which means 39% more damage, and then you get a lot of life and energy shield on kill. So the idea is to be kind of a hybrid character, lots of energy shield, and then Trickster also has a big energy shield sort of side to its ascendancy now, and that means that you're going to be able to get leech, overleech, tankiness, all kinds of shit, but basically just going to try and make some sort of starter Spectral Helix, Spectral Throw, Energy Blade that hopefully has around 4,000 energy shield after Energy Blade buff is up. I don't expect this to be very good. I don't expect it to go too far, maybe about 1,000,000 plus DPS on Helix, and that's probably enough to get through maps, but as long as it's fun and lets me test the new mechanics, then that's all that it really needs to do. So the passive tree in the way I'm trying to build this thing is, like I said, a full energy sort of full lightning setup, some energy shield, bit of a hybrid character. It's proposed in the end probably about 3,000 to 4,000 life while having like 4,000-ish energy shield with a really good energy shield sustain, and the sort of ability to have a bit less chaos damage go through your energy shield thanks to this mastery. There should be about 13 different masteries. We get lots of different things throughout the tree, and it's just got a bit of everything. But yeah, some lightning damage, some of the lightning masteries, and crit and suppress and point blank, which is mostly or entirely used for Spectral Helix, but the build will kind of chop and change between Spectral Helix and Spectral Throw as I go. So this is kind of just going to be something that will get me through the campaign, hopefully scale into later maps a bit better with more gear. But you can just follow along with me if you want to, play this as well. Though, like I said, it's not going to be one of the better things out there compared to plenty of other starters. So we'll probably just start here. Chances are I'll go through this shit, and then I imagine I'd be going straight down and grabbing arcing blows, and then doing like to begin with, lightning damage with non-crits is lucky, and then you get rid of that once you've eventually gone into a big enough portion of actual crit that that won't be relevant. But for now it would be that, may even full-time be that, depending on my crit in the end. But yeah, otherwise we just go down and pick stuff up as we want it. And the Ascendancy, I'm probably going to take Polymath first, just because it'd be a lot of extra damage and sustain while leveling. But Swift Killer might be too good to pass up. 5 Frenzies pretty much always, and then helps me maintain my power charges as well. We'll see. But the goal is to also have Escape Artist and Soul Drinker. So Soul Drinker, Escape Artist, and Polymath are the main things. Swift Killer is kind of whatever. You don't have to have it. You could do one step ahead, which we might do in the end, because it's worth about the same damage. It's just this charge duration feels pretty good for other charges, so we'll see how it goes as I play it. And then, even though I've completely failed on the starter category, I'll give you just a little bit more for a start if you're thinking of trying some of the new lightning skills. This is a test run that I did just for self-cast, Inquisitor, Templar, using just some lightning skills. So for the most part, I leveled up using rolling magma into arc, and then used arc up until about level 50, and it felt really good. Like, I'm surprised at how nice arc feels in early game with no gear whatsoever, just hardly picking anything up even, and it can go do some serious clear, some good self-casting, and I think self-cast is going to be in a pretty good spot this league with the right gearing from Kalandra stuff, because if you can double your jewelry's cast speed, you can double your amulet's cast speed, you can net like 120 cast speed just from 3 item slots, which is pretty fucking nuts. So with this one, this is going to be probably long-term very, very similar to the character I made as a Wave of Conviction and Arc Inquisitor in the last league, so reference that one for more end-game stuff. It uses Annihilating Light triple damage staff, and it goes pretty freaking deep. This is just going to be a basic setup, so level up with some Arc, whatever else you really want, but it's also there to try out the new shock skills. You should be able to weave those into the build as you level up, as you get them, and start getting some shock chance and all of that. So give that a shot if you're interested in that. Otherwise, you can look at some more refined guides. That said, if you want to take this one to the higher conclusion, then yeah, following the triple damage staff variant that I had this league will take you pretty far, but it's going to take you a bit of work to get to that stage. And this is just a very simple template, basically what I got up to level 50 or so. So we're just starting out doing, you know, the usual Inquisitor stuff. Went over here, grabbed the little lightning nodes, straight to this lightning area and the mastery to get either additional chain, which works really nicely for your Orbis Storms plus arc, or you can grab the lightning non-crit lucky node first. I went the chain node first, and then I went up through here and grabbed the non-crit lucky node afterwards. Then over here, start running like Determination, Herald of Thunder, whatever you really want. It's not too important early on. It's just a little skeleton template for that. And also actually picked up Elemental Overload as soon as I could, pretty much level 25 or some shit. Before you're actually fully crit, EO is pretty worth taking. And then our first 2 points were just this to give us more reliable EO. Then once you get here, that's probably when you want to start going into more of a crit basis after your Cruel Lab. But like I said, this should end up tackling its way all the way up to the self-cast Wave of Conviction build that had a lot of DPS and was fully uber viable. You're going to take it back down gear-wise just a little, and also you wouldn't have this setup here using the Timeless Jewels, so you'd unspec all of that, lose a bunch of damage, but then have a lot of points to work around with, and with those points you'd probably end up doing something like that, maybe getting some more life back elsewhere, depending on what you feel you need for the build. But it ends up being a staff build, so you take some staff nodes, you take some glancing blow, and cap your glancing block. But yeah, it'll depend on what you feel the build needs at that point. It is Eldritch Battery in the end with Devouring Diadem, so before you get that, you probably just gonna have to scoot on over and spec it, because that takes care of your mana. But you could actually take care of your mana with a mana flask and a little bit of regen and stuff. That's certainly doable on the low end of self-cast. So once again, my apologies about the starter stuff. The cosplay shit just took way longer than I anticipated, and I was stalling on these starters for quite a while because put out a lot of videos and builds for the past league, and plenty of that stuff can be starters, and then there's a lot of people doing starter stuff now, so I feel a bit less obligated to do it. Other things I think you could also do that I recently played was Storm Rain and just bow ranger stuff. That should work really well. I did Toxic Rain Raider in Gauntlet, and that held up all the way through like mid to high levels Gauntlet, and that's a much harder setting to do that sort of stuff. Exsanguinate, Come Storm build, you could do that as a Trickster, I think, with the new stuff, or Scion with one of the new Trickster sub-ascendancies. That one there. Yeah, there's plenty of options, basically. It's a fairly established meta, not too much of a shake-up, just lots of new items and stuff to build around. So I'll see you in just a few hours with some sort of dumb-looking thing. And as always, hope you guys have a good league start. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.